There is a reason why the first bite of a buttery croissant, a slice of pizza, or a spoonful of ice cream feels instantly satisfying. The pleasure arrives fast, almost before conscious thought catches up. This reaction is not accidental, cultural coincidence, or mere indulgence. Fat has a unique ability to amplify flavor, texture, and emotional comfort in ways few other ingredients can match. Long before nutrition labels and calorie counts existed, humans learned through experience that foods rich in fat felt better to eat, lasted longer in the stomach, and provided a sense of fullness and warmth. That instinct still shapes how food tastes today. To understand why fat makes food taste better, it helps to look at the science of taste, the mechanics of the tongue and nose, and the deep evolutionary history that wired humans to crave it, right here on History of Simple Things. Taste begins on the tongue, where taste buds detect basic sensations like sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. Fat itself is not traditionally listed among these tastes, yet it plays a powerful supporting role. Many flavor compounds are fat-soluble, meaning they dissolve and spread more effectively in fat than in water. When fat is present, these compounds linger longer in the mouth, giving flavors more time to register and intensify. Without fat, flavors can seem sharp, fleeting, or incomplete. With fat, they become rounder and more cohesive. This is why herbs bloom in oil, why spices feel deeper in curries, and why sauces taste fuller when finished with butter or cream. Fat acts as a flavor carrier, distributing taste evenly across the tongue instead of letting it hit in brief, uneven bursts. Texture also matters. Fat creates smoothness and viscosity, coating the mouth in a way that water-based foods cannot. This coating reduces friction, making food feel luxurious and comforting. The brain often interprets this smoothness as quality, richness, and satisfaction, even before identifying specific flavors. Flavor is not just taste. Much of what people describe as taste is actually smell. As food is chewed, aroma molecules travel up the back of the throat into the nasal cavity, where they are detected by olfactory receptors. Fat plays a critical role in this process. Because fat holds onto aroma compounds, it releases them slowly as food warms in the mouth. This gradual release creates a layered sensory experience rather than a single, sharp hit. A lean broth may smell pleasant at first, but fade quickly, while a fatty stew continues to release aroma with every bite. This slow release is why foods high in fat often feel more complex. The brain receives a steady stream of signals instead of a short-lived spike. Over time, this sustained sensory input becomes associated with depth and indulgence, reinforcing the idea that fat-rich foods taste better. The pleasure of fat is not limited to the mouth. It extends deep into the brain's reward circuitry. When fat is consumed, it triggers the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with motivation and pleasure. This response evolved as a survival mechanism, encouraging early humans to seek out energy-dense foods when they were available. In environments where food was scarce and unpredictable, fat was an efficient source of calories. A small amount provided long-lasting energy, insulation against cold, and support for brain function. The brain learned to reward the taste and texture of fat because it signaled survival. Fat does not overpower other ingredients. Instead, it enhances them. Salt tastes saltier, sweetness feels rounder, and bitterness becomes more manageable in the presence of fat. This balancing effect is crucial in cooking. Consider vegetables. Many bitter compounds in greens become more palatable when paired with oil or butter. Roasting vegetables with fat caramelizes their natural sugars while softening harsh edges. The same principle applies to meat, where fat carries savory compounds that define richness and depth. This amplifying effect explains why low-fat versions of foods often feel unsatisfying. When fat is removed, flavors lose their foundation. Manufacturers frequently compensate by adding sugar, salt, or artificial flavorings, yet the result rarely matches the original. Fat provides structure and continuity that additives struggle to replicate. One of fat's most overlooked contributions is mouthfeel. Mouthfeel describes the physical sensations food creates, such as creaminess, crispness, or melt-in-the-mouth softness. Fat excels at shaping these sensations. Crispy foods rely on fat to create contrast. Frying removes moisture while adding richness, producing a crunch that feels dramatic and indulgent. Creamy foods depend on fat to maintain smoothness and prevent separation. Even baked goods rely on fat to tenderize dough and create softness. This tactile pleasure contributes to satiety. Foods with fat tend to feel more filling, not just because of calories, but because they take longer to eat and digest. The body recognizes the texture as substantial, sending signals of fullness and contentment. Taste is partly biological and partly learned. Across cultures, fat has long been associated with celebration, hospitality, and care. Festive dishes often include richer ingredients, from butter and cream to oils and animal fats. Over time, these associations reinforce the idea that fat equals pleasure. Childhood experiences play a role as well. Many comfort foods rely on fat for warmth and richness. These memories shape expectations, making fat-rich foods feel familiar and reassuring. Even when health awareness grows, the emotional connection remains powerful. This does not mean that fat is universally craved in the same way. Cultural preferences influence which fats are valued, whether olive oil, butter, coconut milk, or animal fat. Yet the underlying appreciation for richness and mouthfeel is remarkably consistent. Fat makes food taste better because it works on multiple levels at once. It carries flavor, releases aroma, shapes texture, and activates the brain's reward system. It connects modern meals to ancient survival instincts and personal memories. Its presence turns simple ingredients into something comforting and complete. The enduring appeal of fat is not a flaw in human judgment. It is evidence of how deeply taste, biology, and history are intertwined. Food is not just fuel. It is experience, memory, and emotion. Fat enhances all of these quietly and consistently in every satisfying bite. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.